Welcome to A Few Minutes with the CEO. My name is Al O'Grady, and as you can tell, we are on location today. Today is Monday, March the 7th. We are at the PDAC in the Metro Convention Centre in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I'm joined by the President and CEO of Hinterland Metals, Mr. Mark Fekete. Mark, thanks very much for taking some time with us.
Oh, thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Okay. As I said, Mark is with Hinterland Metals. A lot of developments going on with the company, i.e. a spin-out of the organization. I know we've talked in the past before, but as I said, today is Monday, March 7th. Mark, why don't you first of all give us a background as to what's happened, and then give us an update. What's going on right now?
Sure. Well, the reason we're doing this spin-out is over the last few years we've noticed that there's confusion amongst our shareholders as to what Hinterland is. Originally, we were a Quebec, Ontario-based company, but the last few years we picked up a lot of property in Yukon. And what's happened is our shareholders are divided between people interested in Yukon gold, and the balance of the shareholders are interested in our Quebec and Ontario properties. In particular, we have a very good rare earth property in near Kippawa, and there's been a lot of interest in that Kippawa property.
Okay, so let's start with the Yukon first, because I know there's an awful lot of interest in the White Gold District. I know you certainly have your eyes on that. The spin-off company, is that I think you had said that's going to the Yukon, and Hinterland is focusing on Quebec. I hope I got that right. Okay, now first of all, what's the name of the new company?
We call it Stakeholder. Yukon is going through an amazing boom right now. What kicked it off was a new discovery in the White Gold District. Subsequent to that, there was another discovery near Keno Hill called ATAC, after the company that found that. And just last year, there was a third discovery in an area called right on the border with the Northwest Territories, a company called Northern Tiger. So we've always been very quick to move on any new discoveries. We were one of the very first companies to acquire ground in the White Gold District, a property we call Ballarat. And then in October this year, when the 3/8 discovery on the Territories border was announced, we acquired some property there. We call that property Culvert.
Okay, let's start with, from a shareholder perspective, Stakeholders, the new company. Has it been listed on the stock exchange? If not, what's your timetable? Do you have a ticker symbol, things of that sort?
No, the spin-out's pretty complicated. It's by a plan of arrangement. We're fairly far advanced with that. There's quite a few documents to file with the exchange, that sort of thing. We have to get court approval as well as shareholder approval. That all takes time. Our sort of goal right now is to have this all done before the end of April, with the idea of getting our new listing and a concurrent financing first week of May.
Okay, so obviously you and I will be talking more about that as we get into April and May, as far as those details being finalized. Okay, let's talk about Stakeholder and the operations in the Yukon. What's going to be happening, i.e. drilling, scoping studies, things of that sort? What's going to be happening in the next 3 to 6 months?
Well, as I mentioned, there's been all kinds of staking activity in Yukon. What makes Stakeholder different from some of these newer players in the area is we've got two properties that are both at the drill ready stage. Ballarat in particular, we've been working there for 2 years now. We're getting excellent soil sample results on par with what was found initially at Underworld, the White Gold discovery, and at Kaminak. Our property strategically is located about halfway between both Kaminak and the White Gold, which is held by Kinross now. So with those good gold values, in soils we've got two very promising structures. We've done quite a bit of preparation work in terms of drill pads and that sort of thing. So it's just a matter of rolling the drill out there and starting to drill. We anticipate drilling about August 1st. Really, only because of the availability of drills. That's the first time we can get a drill. The other property, Culvert, it's fairly high elevation, and with that we have to wait until the snow leaves sometime in July. But again, without too much work, we will have that to the drill ready stage. Hopefully by the 1st of September we'll be drilling there.
It always sounds so scary when you talk about snow leaving in July. It is what it is, nonetheless. Let's talk about Hinterland now. What's going to be the developments happening with Hinterland in the next 3 to 6 months in eastern Canada?
Well, Hinterland's an older company. We've been at it for about 10 years now. We've always had a very good property portfolio, based primarily in the Abitibi. we've normally been a gold company. We've had some success with platinum and palladium. Recently, we got involved in rare earth exploration with the restriction of exports from China, which is the principal producer of rare earths. There's a big push on in North America right now to find a domestic supplier. We've staked this what we call the Kippawa property. We really like it because of the infrastructure that's there. There's a network of roads. There's a power dam. There's two small towns in the area that can supply a labor force to a potential mine. It's only 5 hours north of Toronto. If you compare that to some of the other projects, two good examples would be Quest's project in Labrador or Avalon's project in the Territories. They're very big deposits, and but they're remote, and they're going to require a very large capital input to put those into production. Our Kippawa project is 30 kilometers west of Matamek's Zeus deposit. It's quite small, but it's relatively high grade, and because of that infrastructure, they can put that into production fairly early, and that's kind of what we're hoping to capitalize on. We're an early stage project at this point, but if we do have success, we think that we can sell our product to Matamek if they have their mill up and running.
Okay, Mark, that's it for the formal questions. As always, my guest gets the last word. Any final thoughts? Anything you haven't mentioned on, or maybe something that you think maybe requires more emphasis that the shareholders should know at this time?
Well, this is a really good thing for shareholders doing the spin-out. I think that Hinterland has been historically undervalued. We've got a great portfolio of properties, both in Quebec, Ontario, and up in the Yukon. And by doing this separation of assets, we hope to build some value for our shareholders, and also develop focus so that the two companies are better understood by the brokerage community.
On that note, Mark, I want to thank you very much for your time and telling us the latest with Hinterland and also the spinoff. So we'll be talking more. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and for Mark Fekete, the President and CEO of Hinterland Metals, my name is Al O'Grady, and you've been listening to A Few Minutes with the CEO, produced by RBL Communications. Thanks very much for joining us.